He played a cop on TV. Now he's training to become one. When he first put on a police badge, Jerry O'Donnell did it for the cameras. Over a 40-year career, he often played law enforcement officers in shows like Dexter, Alias, and NYPD Blue, among others. Now, the actor is training to become a real police officer. At 65, O'Donnell is hitting the weights, doing push-ups, and running several miles a week alongside recruits decades younger than he is. I was in the Army and they asked me, "Did you fight for the North or the South?" O'Donnell recalled his classmates saying with a laugh, "People don't bust your chops unless they love you." His ambition to start a new career, at an age when so many are thinking about retirement, was sparked in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene. The catastrophic storm pummeled the Asheville, North Carolina, area in 2024, just a few years after O'Donnell and his wife moved there from Los Angeles to retire. That's when he witnessed the community come together, neighbors delivering water, clearing debris, and helping rebuild homes. "It was a real time of thinking, what's important?" said Allison Crowley, O'Donnell's wife of 23 years. Jerry thought, "I want to do something of service," and he always wanted to be a cop. When power and internet service were finally restored after more than a month, O'Donnell did some digging and learned there was no age limit to join Asheville's police academy. So he applied. "We call him Jerry the Bull. When he wants to do something, he moves heaven and earth to make it happen," Crowley said. After months of exams, interviews, a lie detector test, and vetting, O'Donnell was accepted to the academy, began training in July, and is set to graduate in January. "We think Jerry is the oldest person to begin law enforcement training in the department," says Rick Rice, Public Information Officer for Asheville Police. O'Donnell said many of his younger classmates, a former firefighter, Transportation Security Administration agent and tour bus driver among them, also felt called to serve after Helene hit, helping fill a void. O'Donnell's desire to serve his community helps fill a void felt by Asheville Police and other law enforcement departments across the country. A 2024 survey conducted by the International Association of Chiefs of Police shows on average, agencies are operating at approximately 91% of their authorized staffing levels. A combination of factors, including the COVID-19 pandemic, the public response following George Floyd's death, and the defund the police movement, has significantly impacted law enforcement agencies' ability to recruit and retain officers. In Asheville, 126 officers resigned in a 3-year period, according to recently retired Asheville Police Chief Michael Lamb. In a department of roughly 232 people, that amounts to more than half leaving the job during that time. At the same time, Asheville PD experienced record low numbers in the academy. As a result, it drives up both property crime and violent crime, and there's a decrease in the level of customer service, Lamb said. Ethan Rourke first realized something was wrong when the police instructor recognized him, not as a recruit, but as a rerun. "Hold up," the instructor said, squinting across the fluorescent-lit classroom. "Aren't you that detective on Metro Nights?" Ethan offered the polite half-smile he'd perfected over 8 seasons. "Was," he said. "Show got canceled." Murmurs rippled across the room of recruits, all younger than him by a decade. Someone whispered, "Dude, he's Jack Arden." Another, "No way, the guy who solves everything while driving a Lamborghini?" Technically, Ethan said, dropping his backpack beside a chair, it was a Dymos X12 with a custom. He stopped. No point correcting their car porn. He wasn't here to relive the show. He was here because he no longer trusted what he'd been pretending to be. 1. Cancelled. When Metro Nights got axed, Ethan didn't cry. He didn't rage. He sat in his trailer, half-cleaned, half-looted by souvenir hunting production staff, and felt only an immense, dull emptiness. 12-hour days for 11 years, back-to-back seasons, stunt rehearsals, promo tours. He'd been working, sure. But living? Not really. The finale had been shot while he was still numb from the news. They'd wrapped at 3 a.m. He'd shaken hands with the cast, hugged the stunt coordinator, accepted a bottle of bourbon from the props master, and then he'd gone home and stared at the fake badge he'd worn for over a decade. The weight of it, cheap metal yet heavy with meaning, had always steadied him. But now it looked like a toy. The next morning, without quite knowing why, He applied to the police academy. He assumed they'd reject him. Instead, he received a short, polite acceptance email. Training begins March 4th. Report at 0700 hours. Bring only what you need. He brought everything he didn't need, of course, because he didn't know the difference yet. 2. Academy Day 1. Instructor Vega had the kind of gaze that could bend steel. You have a problem, Rourke, he declared after roll call. You already think you know what a cop does. I don't, Ethan said honestly. Exactly. Vega tapped the attendance board with a marker, hard. The first thing we're going to do here is unteach you. The recruits chuckled. Vega didn't. You, he continued, pointing at Ethan, have to forget the chase scenes. Forget the monologues. Forget that ridiculous trench coat. Real policing is paperwork, patience, and knowing when not to draw your weapon, not firing heroically while diving sideways through a window. A recruit in the back muttered, but that scene was badass. Vega whirled on him. Badge numbers, not badass. Am I clear? The room erupted. Yes, sir. Ethan kept his mouth shut. Training was humbling. Firearms qualifications were nothing like choreographed stunts. Actual recoil bruised his shoulder. Fitness drills left him gasping. The law classes were dense and unforgiving. More than once, Ethan stared at his notes and thought, maybe this is ridiculous. I'm 42. I should be golfing, not crawling under barbed wire. But each time doubt crept in, he saw the medal badge from the show, still on his dresser at home, and remembered how wrong it had felt to pretend for so long. He needed to earn something real. 3. Why he joined. Week 3 brought interviews, each recruit explaining why they wanted to join the force. Ethan dreaded his turn. The truth was messy. When Vega finally called his name, Ethan stepped forward. My father, he began, voice halting at first, was a police officer. The room quieted. He died when I was 14. I grew up watching his colleagues, his friends, show up for my mom every holiday, every birthday, every awful anniversary. They were our community. I always wanted to be part of that. He looked down. Acting gave me a version of it, but it wasn't real. I'd go home after filming a takedown and feel hollow. Because I knew I hadn't done anything. I hadn't helped anyone. He exhaled. So I'm here because I want something real before it's too late.